You know that feeling when a single performance, a single line, makes you see a character you thought you knew inside out in a completely new light? Today we're talking Darth Maul in Star Wars, Maul Shadow Lord. Specifically, why Sam Witwer's voice work here isn't just good, it's the kind of masterful, layered performance that quietly reshapes everything we thought we understood about Maul's revenge arc after the Clone Wars. One line, one devastating, perfectly delivered line, and it changes how you see his entire post-Clone Wars journey forever. Stick with me, you're not going to want to miss this. All right, folks, grab your calf, kick back, and settle in because we're about to take our cozy deep dive into something that's been quietly rewriting the entire Star Wars timeline in the background. By the way, I brought today our one-man Army channel editor, Bill. He'll be appearing more and more in our videos to share with you his views on the galaxy far, far away.
Sup, Dan. Happy to drop by. Man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I had to rewind that scene 4 times. 4. Sam Witwer just dropped what might be the single best line Maul has ever had in the entire franchise, and it flips his whole revenge obsession on its head. I'm still processing it. This changes everything.
Okay, cool down, Bill. It's just your first vid. I'm the main voice guy here, okay? Let's start at the beginning so we're all on the same page. Sam Witwer has been the voice of Maul for over a decade now, from that shocking return in the Clone Wars all the way through Rebels, games, everything. You can hear the evolution in his performance across the years, the raw, snarling rage of early Clone Wars Maul, the broken madness of Spider Maul, the calculated calm of the Rebels era. But in Shadow Lord, set in the early years of the Empire and a few short years after the Clone Wars ended, close enough that the galaxy still smells like war, Witwer is doing something different. He's giving us a Maul who's still burning with that signature fire. But the fire has new layers, grief, reassessment, doubt. And that one line? It's the moment the entire performance clicks into place and suddenly the bridge between Clone Wars, Crime Lord, and the broken, hollow man we find stranded on Malachor and Rebels makes perfect sense.
Danny, but remember this. Before Shadow Lord, we only had Fragments, the Son of Dathomir comics. A few mentions here and there. We knew Maul survived Order 66, rebuilt some version of the Shadow Collective, but we didn't feel the psychological weight of it. Now we do. And it's all in the voice. Sam Witwer isn't just growling anymore. There's this gravelly weariness underneath the rage, like every word is carrying the weight of losing Savage, losing Talzin, losing everything to Sidious again. It's subtle, but once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Yeah, that's what makes this performance so special. It's not just voice acting, and it's psychological acting. Witwer has said in interviews that this is the most psychologically satisfying version of Maul they've ever done because we finally get inside his head during this messy transition period. The Empire is brand new. The galaxy is in chaos, and Maul is trying to rebuild on this backwater planet called Janix, while the Inquisitors are just starting to hunt down Jedi remnants. He crosses paths with a disillusioned Twi'lek Padawan named Devon Izara, and crosses paths is doing a lot of heavy lifting there because she is very much not interested in what Maul is selling. She's in hiding with her master, the Empire's breathing down her neck, and the last thing she wants is to be orbiting a former Sith Lord. But Maul sees something in her that he recognizes, and that's where Witwer's performance gets genuinely fascinating.
Now it's not simple anymore. That's what's blowing my mind. The show doesn't retcon anything, it deepens it. Every previous appearance suddenly feels richer. You go back to Rebels and that lonely old Maul talking about the dark side and the only thing that never fails. It hits different after Shadow Lord. Because this series shows the exact moment his revenge stops being pure blind rage and starts becoming something colder, smarter. Almost tragic.
Let's talk about the voice work itself for a second, because this is where Witwer is quietly rewriting the canon. In the early episodes, you hear the familiar rasp, but it's tempered. There are these micro pauses, these tiny cracks where the grief slips through. And then there's Episode 8, where the sound designers did something brilliant. They projected those animated flashbacks onto a physical smoke machine on set. So the flicker and fade of Maul's visions, that's actually happening. It's a practical effect inside an animated show, and it gives Witwer's voice work in those moments, this quality where the sound and the image feel like they're both disintegrating at the same time. Every word lands like it costs him something.
Dan, brilliant, doesn't even cover it. I'm telling you, the way he delivers simple commands now carries this new weight. There's one early scene where he tells a Jedi remnant, "By all means, Jedi, leave." The way Witwer says it, it's not just menace. There's this undercurrent of respect mixed with exhaustion. Like he's acknowledging that the old rules are gone and maybe, just maybe, the Jedi weren't the real enemy anymore. It's subtle, but it plants the seed for what's coming.
Bill, you know, and that seed grows into the single most important line in the entire series. We're deep into the season when it hits, and here's what makes this almost poetic in a meta sense. Before the show even aired, Witwer told Screen Rant that writer Matt Mishnovets had written his single favorite Maul line in the entire franchise. Said it was, quote, literally in iambic pentameter, a rhythmic poetic structure almost never used in Star Wars. He refused to reveal it. He just said, "My favorite Maul line of all time. You have not heard yet, it will be a little bit." And then episode 8 arrives. Maul is broken open, are literally trapped in a wind tunnel. Visions of everything he's lost crashing over him. Savage, Sidious, his childhood on Dathomir, and he turns to a vision of himself as a little boy, the child who was stolen, who was weaponized, and he says it.
I won't let him do this to anyone else. I'm not kidding. I literally paused the episode. Because that's not a revenge line. That's a protection line. That's Maul saying the thing a Sith is never supposed to say. I care what happens to someone else. And it reframes everything. All this time we thought his obsession with Kenobi was just wounded pride, blind rage. But this is the exact moment you understand why Devon matters to him. She's not just a weapon. She's the kid he couldn't save. She's him.
Spot on, mate. Think about how this reframes every future appearance. In Rebels, when Maul is alone on Malachor offering Ezra the only thing that never fails, we now understand where that philosophy came from. It wasn't just madness. It was the hard-won realization born in Shadow Lord. The revenge that once consumed him has evolved into something strategic, something that survives even when the body breaks. Witwer's voice sells every layer of that evolution. The anger, the grief, the dawning clarity. It's the kind of performance that makes you rewatch the entire Maul saga and see new connections everywhere.
Dan, and don't get me started on how this affects the Apprentice storyline. Devon isn't just another tool for revenge. She's the test of this new philosophy. And what's wild is she's fighting him the whole time. She doesn't want his training. She doesn't trust him. But you hear in the way Witwer plays those scenes, there's this almost reluctant respect creeping into his voice, like Maul is surprised to find himself actually caring whether she survives. Witwer said it himself in interviews. Maul sees Devon as himself at her age. Same institution gone, same future erased. He knows exactly what she's feeling because he felt it first. And that's what makes it tragic. He wants to protect her the way nobody protected him, but the only tools he has are Sith ones. This isn't the Maul who screamed Kenobi in blind fury. This is a Shadow Lord who's learning to weaponize the darkness itself. I'm obsessed. This is the Maul content we've been starving for. And the Devon/Talon theory? That's not just random fan noise. George Lucas literally wrote a Twi'lek apprentice named Talon into his original sequel trilogy outline. Maul trains her, she becomes the new Darth Vader, Maul becomes the criminal godfather of the galaxy. Dave Filoni has said Shadow Lord honors some of those Lucas ideas. The parallels aren't subtle. The showrunners won't confirm it outright, but supervising director Brad Rao said they're fascinated by the theories. fascinated. That's not a denial, Dan. That's a tease.
But here's where it gets even better, since little heartbreaking. The series doesn't let Maul stay in this enlightened place. The conflicts keep stacking, syndicate betrayals, Inquisitor run-ins, the constant shadow of the Empire closing in. Every episode you feel the physical and emotional toll in Witwer's performance. His voice gets rougher, more strained as the season progresses. You can hear the man breaking even as his mind sharpens, and that one line becomes the emotional anchor that makes all the later suffering land so much harder.
Man, it's tragic, because now we know exactly why he ends up the way he does in Rebels. That lonely, broken master wasn't just defeated by time and Obi-Wan, he was forged in the fires of Shadow Lord. The revenge that started as blind rage became something deeper, something that required him to sacrifice pieces of himself he never expected. And Witwer sells every second of it. The quiet moments of reflection, the explosive confrontations, that gut punch vision sequence, it's all connected by that single line. I won't let him do this to anyone else. 6 words. That's the whole show, right there.
So yeah, Sam Witwer didn't just voice Maul in Shadow Lord, he quietly gave us the missing chapter that makes the entire character arc feel complete. One line, one perfectly crafted, beautifully performed line that reframes revenge not as the end goal, but as the shadow that reveals the true shape of the galaxy. It's the kind of storytelling that rewards rewatches, that sparks theories, that makes you fall in love with the character all over again. If you haven't watched Maul, Shadow Lord yet, what are you waiting for? And if you have, you know exactly which line I'm talking about. Drop it in the comments, I want to hear your thoughts.
This is peak Star Wars, Dan. Witwer and the team just elevated Maul from cool villain to one of the most complex characters in the saga. I can't stop thinking about it. The revenge we thought we knew. It was only the beginning. Shadow Lord gave us the rest of the story, and it's better than we ever imagined.
Man, Bill, calm down. All right, friends, that's our cozy deep dive for today. If this video helped you see Maul in a new light, hit that like button, subscribe for more Star Wars lore breakdowns, and let us know in the comments. What's your favorite Maul moment across the whole timeline now that Shadow Lord exists? We'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with us all, and may your calf always be hot.